if I had to put it into large buckets, I think most team research that I do, we look at effectiveness and efficiency. But the context matters how you measure that, right? Effectiveness for a sales team is sales, right? Effectiveness for a healthcare team is how good the patient is doing. It's still effectiveness, but what you use to measure effectiveness likely is context specific, right? Efficiency is similar, right? How you measure efficiency in a healthcare context is likely different than how you would in sales or consulting or manufacturing. But if the big buckets that I and many other team researchers look at is team effectiveness and team efficiency, and then a third, if I would throw in, which we didn't really include in this study, is how does the team feel, right? Satisfaction, do they want to continue working together, the viability of the team. Those are some other constructs that I look at in all the studies I do around organizational teams. So we do a lot of survey and observation work in healthcare, literally standing in the surgical suite and watching how the operating team functions and how the surgeon leads his or her team. For this particular study, we didn't rely on survey data. We relied on archival data. And so we looked at person X, how much had they worked with person Y within the last period of months, and that derived a shared team experience sort of measure or construct that we use. So then when this team comes together, we looked at person X and Y and Z, who's working on this particular hip surgery, right? How often had they worked together in the last 6 months to know what their level of experience working together is versus team 2 that may or may not have had any or had more experience than this first team. And so then we really compared teams, right? Again, archival data, we were able to look at the teams and how efficient they performed in the surgery and compared their experience relative to another team's experience. Did experience tend to drive performance we were seeing, primarily efficiency, and then subsequent length of stay of the patient in the hospital, right? Was the patient, not only were we efficient as a surgical team, but were we more effective as a surgical team, which translated into, did the patient get to go home quicker, right? Because there are lots of healthcare data that would show the quicker we can get the patient recovered and out of the hospital, their recovery is much more enhanced. So that's another metric that within healthcare they're really looking at is length of stay and how efficient we can be in the surgical area.